The Douay-Rheims Bible, the book of Exodus, chapter 38. He maketh the altar of holocaust, the brazen laver, the court with its pillars and hangings, the sum of what the people offered. He made also the altar of holocaust of sedum wood, 5 cubits square, and 3 in height. The horns whereof went out from the corners, and he overlaid it with plates of brass. And for the uses thereof he prepared divers vessels of brass, cauldrons, tongs, flesh hooks, pot hooks, and firepans. And he made the grate thereof of brass, in manner of a net, and under it in the midst of the altar a hearth, casting 4 rings at the 4 ends of the net at the top, to put in bars to carry it. And he made the bars of sedum wood, and overlaid them with plates of brass. And he drew them through the rings that stood out in the sides of the altar. And the altar itself was not solid, but hollow of boards and empty within. He made also the laver of brass with the foot thereof, of the mirrors of the women that watched at the door of the tabernacle. He made also the court, in the south side whereof were hangings of fine twisted linen of 100 cubits, 20 pillars of brass with their sockets, the beads of the pillars, and the whole graving of the work of silver. In like manner at the north side the hangings, the pillars, and the sockets, and heads of the pillars were of the same measure and work and metal. But on that side that looketh to the west there were hangings of 50 cubits, 10 pillars of brass with their sockets, and the heads of the pillars, and all the graving of the work of silver. Moreover, towards the east he prepared hangings of 50 cubits, 15 cubits of which were on one side with 3 pillars and their sockets, and on the other side, for between the two he made the entry of the tabernacle, there were hangings equally of 15 cubits and 3 pillars, and as many sockets. All the hangings of the court were woven with twisted linen. The sockets of the pillars were of brass, and their heads with all their gravings of silver, and he overlaid the pillars of the court also with silver. And he made in the entry thereof an embroidered hanging of violet, purple, scarlet, and fine twisted linen, that was 20 cubits long and 5 cubits high, according to the measure of all the hangings of the court. And the pillars in the entry were 4, with sockets of brass, and their heads and gravings of silver. The pins also of the tabernacle and of the court round about he made of brass. These are the instruments of the tabernacle of the testimony, which were counted according to the commandment of Moses, in the ceremonies of the Levites, by the hand of Ithamar, son of Aaron the priest, which Bezaleel, the son of Uri, the son of Hur of the tribe of Judah, had made, as the Lord commanded by Moses, having for his companion Eliab, the son of Achizamach of the tribe of Dan, who also was an excellent artificer in wood, and worker in tapestry and embroidery in violet, purple, scarlet, and fine linen. All the gold that was spent in the work of the sanctuary, and that was offered in gifts, was 29 talents, and 730 shekels according to the standard of the sanctuary. And it was offered by them that went to be numbered, from 20 years old and upwards, of 603,550 men able to bear arms. There were moreover 100 talents of silver, whereof were cast the sockets of the sanctuary, and of the entry where the veil hangeth. 100 sockets were made of 100 talents, 1 talent being reckoned for every socket. And of the 1,775 he made the heads of the pillars, which also he overlaid with silver. And there were offered of brass also 72,000 talents, and 400 shekels besides, of which were cast the sockets in the entry of the tabernacle of the testimony, and the altar of brass with the gate thereof, and also the vessels that belonged to the use thereof, and the sockets of the court as well round about as in the entry thereof, and the pins of the tabernacle, and of the court round about.